While I'm on the subject of conservatives and their retarded rhetoric, a lot of the times when I make a point that they cannot denounce because it is utterly true and there's no spin to it, there's no amount of lies they can do to cover it up, they tend to resort to, why don't you go out and get a job? Why don't you go do something constructive with your life? Well, I am doing something constructive. I am fighting for civil rights. I don't think it gets much more constructive than that. If human beings do not have freedom, if human beings do not have representation, if human beings do not have equality and solidarity, they have nothing. They are slaves. I don't think it gets much better than trying to fight against enslavement. I don't think anything else matters besides to be a free man with his own thoughts, with his own ideas, and to be able to share those with other people and help to enlighten them and help to make them feel better and expose them to new ideals so that they can help make their lives better too. So that they can help build themselves up rather than relying on the prepackaged, fabricated, pseudo-reality that is our corporate news media and our stupid-ass sitcoms and other bullshit. So yes, I am doing something constructive, and I didn't need your ass to tell me. What are you doing with your life? I mean, let's face it, what in your mind would be constructive anyway? Cure cancer? I don't think cancer can be cured, since cancer is a mutagen resulting from cells just randomly turning into something destructive. It would depend on the individual. I cannot make a cure for every single individual, so in turn I cannot cure cancer. Let's see, I could discover a new planet, but scientists are doing that every day, and nobody seems to fucking care. Nobody cares about, discovering new particles in the universe, the beauty of our skies and seas. Some people do. Some people authentically are into that sort of thing and want to become marine biologists or physicists or things like that, but in general, the mass population is fine and dandy with just watching football, getting laid, and smoking something. I personally like to smoke, but that is not my entire life. I consider myself a little bit above average of your typical slob. Not too much, I wasn't raised in a nice white neighborhood with overprivileged elites, buying me a nice school to go to, and, knowing all the right people and having all the good opportunities. So, no, I'm not going to have those kinds of things on my record. I'm not going to be able to become a physicist because my parents could not afford for me to go to college to become a physicist. And even if some magical way we became socialists tomorrow and I could go to college without having to have rich parents, it wouldn't matter anyway because the vast majority of you just don't fucking care. You don't care about educating yourselves, and you certainly don't care about the nature of our existence and trying to make some kind of sense out of all of this. So, what in your mind is constructive and making the world a better place? You don't have an answer for that because you don't care. You like the way things are. You like the fact that evil prevails and good people are bullied and tormented their entire lives. You like the fact that lying, cheating, stealing, and murdering rewards you. Sometimes. Unless you're poor, then you go to jail. But if you're rich, that gets you ahead every single time. Own some land? Would that make you happy? Would that make me successful? To own a fucking chunk of land that I'm not going to do anything with besides have to mow it and hold it up to the standards of the neighborhood that wants it to look pretty so that their property values go up. Is that, in your mind, is that successful? Maybe I own a lot of land and don't have a neighborhood to dictate how I should run my own land and, grow vegetables on it and become one of these crazy survivalists that is awaiting the nuclear meltdowns and alien invasions. And so I build a fucking bunker and hide in my autistic bunker with all my noodle caboodles and, instant spaghetti or whatever, and I, grow vegetable fields and things like that. Would that be constructive? What in your mind is constructive? I think I'm doing a pretty damn good job. but you have to say things like that because that is all your nature is tearing down other people. But meanwhile, you can't even muster up the humanity to let me speak my mind. All you know how to do is ban, ban, ban. You're a troll. Lol, 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 lols. You're fucking sick. You're a piece of shit. Nobody loves you. I hope you die tomorrow. So, you know, I just needed to say that because I'm fucking sick and tired of these people regurgitating the same stupidity. And, you know, what got me to wanting to make this video was because I sought attorneys to help me fight against internet censorship. In my mind, I thought there was 3 types of people that become lawyers. I thought there was the greedy son of a bitches that only see dollar symbols everywhere they go, but even so, they figure they will take any case so long as they think there can be a profit involved. I don't trust these kinds of people. They will work for anybody and they will sell their services to whoever is willing to give them more dollars for their time, but at least I know they would help me. Maybe not for the right reasons, but at least they would do it. I also thought that there are lawyers that authentically believe that what they're doing is right. They defend people to stop them from going to jail, and they want to, you know, have everyone be relatively innocent and not punished or brutalized, and they want to keep people out of prison. They want to keep people from being electric chaired. You know, they believe in the sanctity of human life and want to protect people authentically. Or, alternatively, they are a liberal attorney and just figure that, you know, everyone is innocent, everyone is just a victim of society, and, you know, they need to be protected and hugged. You know, or maybe they're a prosecutor attorney, and they think most people are bad, and that they want to punish the evildoers, and think they're fucking Batman in a suit. All of these kinds of people would be useful to civil rights, but that is not the reality. The reality is, attorneys are just like everybody else. Fucking moronic pieces of shit that don't know what they're talking about, and they just get a degree so they can flaunt it to everybody else. But they shit, they eat, they die just like everybody else. And they're not even particularly that smart. You know, I was expecting attorneys to talk over my head and sound like these, you know, grotesquely intelligent people with an IQ of 250 and know every single law from front to back and, you know, just make me cry with the utter enlightenment that someone could be so intelligent and know so much about our history and about the laws of our country, and that, you know, they just... It would be like talking to someone of another species because they are just that dedicated to their job. No. They sound just like anyone on the fucking internet. And I mean literally. You could take any person off the internet and they could spew their bullshit and it would sound just like a lawyer. Which is greatly disappointing and demoralizes me, the fact that this person is supposed to represent people in court. You rely on attorneys to, you know, lower your guilty status and to try to appeal to the jury and to mediate between you and the other party outside of the courtroom when they're no better than anybody else. They're not particularly intelligent. They don't particularly sound any more articulated. They just might know the law a little better. They might know the laws of your state on a federal level, and they might just be a little bit more book smart. They might have done a little more research, but all in all, it's the same fucking shit. You could do this yourself. And that to me is kind of disturbing. Because, you know, I've held lawyers up to this high regard as a respectable position where I mean, let's face it, it takes 6 to 9 years to get your legal degree, and then you have to take a super test to see if you're cut out for the job of lawyering. And you mean to fucking tell me after 6 to 9 years and that SAT equivalent test to see if you're a lawyer or just normal person, and you sound just like anybody else? You know, that does not make me hopeful for the future. That does not make me hopeful in any civil rights case. So, you know, there's that. And, I don't even know what else to say here. You know, people are just fucking stupid and evil. You know, what I think they just expect you to be as them. That's it. You know, they don't really care if you're doing anything constructive or deconstructive. They don't care what who you're hurting, what you're doing, if you're actually helping people. They're not moral individuals. To care is to have morality, and they do not have morality. So they just say it to say it because they have to say something. But even though they have this compulsion to say something and have to spew it right away, you're not allowed to do it because whatever. Because they think they're entitled to shutting you up. It's my forum. I can do what I want to. It's my party. I'll cry if I want to. Fuck you. Fuck you all to hell. I hope someone sticks a razor blade up your asshole. I really do. If I saw you on the street, I would do it. I would shove a razor up your bunghole, and I would not feel bad about it one bit. You know, I would do it in public. That way everyone could see it and laugh at you while I pull your pants down and shove a razor up your butthole. So that's all I have to say here, is that anyone at all that has something bad to say about me, I already know what you're going to say. You're not special. You're not, you know, you're not taking a stab at me. You're not doing something. You're not saying something original that's going to get me. That's going to show me. You embarrassed me in front of everybody. Ooh, I've heard it all before. And you know what? More than likely, it's something that's for word, the same shit I've heard a billion times before. There's only about 10 things that people say because they're too afraid and they're too stupid to deviate from those 10 things. You are the most predictable, most artificial, most, you know, hive-like species on the planet. Wasps have more individuality and more preciousness in their existence than you do. I see more originality in the way the wasps flutter in the air than I do from any little thing that comes out of your mouth. There is not one single thought, one single sentence, or one single emotion in your entire existence that is unique at all. You are that repetitive, you are that predictable, and you are that worthless. That's why the elite control you. That's why the elite see you as an expendable resource, just like oil or coal or water or anything, because you are. You are cannon fodder. You are labor. That's all you are. You are just pure, unadulterated labor. You are manna. You are energy that is used to produce other resources that are valuable to them, whether that be food, steel, or fire. That's what you are. You're a fucking slave, and you have no individuality. You have no special needs, no special thoughts. You do not yearn for anything more in life. You are the everyman, or maybe even the last man. You are completely docile and beta, and if you died tomorrow, no one would even notice. And I'm sure you would say the same thing to me, and to an extent, you'd be right. But I would notice. I would care about my own existence. So, that's something. You know, you don't care about your own existence. If you did, you'd be as infuriated as I am that your rights are not respected. And by extension, somebody, somewhere, would care about you. And you may think people care about you, but they don't. It's an illusion. You know, everyone turns their back on you the moment things get rough. If they disagree with you, they will most likely stop being your friend or something. Like if you say something, let me put it this way. Say the most offensive thing you can possibly imagine to the closest people around you. Your parents, your best friends, your spouse. Say something that would really be morally reprehensible and try to look like you're serious. And see what they do. See if they'll still look at you the same way at the end of the day. If they do, you know someone cares about you. And you have accomplished something because obviously you have ingrained yourself into their psyche enough to make such a lasting impression that their own hubris and pride cannot deviate from their love for you, in whatever form that love takes on. But if they stop talking to you, if they turn their back on you and suddenly become your enemy and want nothing to do with you, you have just realized your place in life. You have realized what effect you have on people, or what little effect you have on people. That is something to think about. That is some kind of exercise you can do to help you see where your lot in life is. I do it. That's why I never hold back what I say. You think I do this to troll people? You think I do this to get attention? What do I get? Like fucking 30 views of video? I don't do this for you. I don't even do this to make money. I don't get shit out of YouTube. I do this for me. I do this to see who is and really isn't my friend. I do this to see who really does and doesn't have my back. That way, when things get tough, because I know they will get tough, and they will get tougher, because life never hands you fucking lemonade. Life never hands you a good handshake. Life is always mean and terrible and brutal. I want to know who I can really trust, and who's not just being nice to me. I don't need people to be nice to me. I need people who are devoted. I need people who will let me live with them if I lose my house. I need people who will trust me if something happens and I tell them something and they authentically believe me. If someone says that Jim Prophet killed a guy and I tell them I didn't, I want someone that's like, I believe Jim Prophet. I know Jim Prophet enough to know he did not kill that guy. And even if he did, he probably have a damn good reason, so I will lie for him. You do not have anybody in your life unless they are willing to lie for you. How many people do you know that authentically would? You don't, because you're not willing to test that theory. So don't fucking tell me about being constructive. I know a lot more about human nature than you ever will, because I have experienced it. I have lived it my entire life, getting discriminated against and bashed and banned and censored and pushed around all my fucking life. I know every facet of negativity this world has to offer. So don't fucking tell me about constructive. There is no one on this planet that is as constructive as I am, at least mentally. Maybe not physically. You know, there are scientists out there doing more physically than me. There are, you know, people touching more lives and feeding the hungry and, you know, putting out fires or some of that other bullshit. But mentally, up here, I'm doing all the work. Because I'm thinking for you. Because you're too lazy, too stupid, and too evil to do it yourself. Fuck you.